I always knew there was a favorite in our family, and it definitely wasn't me. Since childhood, all the attention, gifts, and praise went to my younger brother Ben. What I got were chores, carrying heavy bags, fixing what he broke, and keeping my mouth shut. But the day our grandmother passed away, I realized just how deep it all went. The funeral was quiet, almost too quiet, as if everyone was afraid to speak the wrong word. When we got back to Grandma's house, I noticed Ben already in her bedroom, rummaging through drawers like he owned the place. Our parents didn't say a word. They just smiled and let him be. I stood there, wondering why no one seemed to care, until I saw the envelope in his hand. Ben slipped the envelope into his jacket and walked past me without a glance. I caught a glimpse of Grandma's handwriting on the front. My name. My chest tightened. When I asked him what it was, he smirked and said, "Don't worry about it. You wouldn't understand." That's when I knew whatever was in that envelope wasn't meant for him. I followed him into the kitchen, my heart pounding. Our parents were there, chatting casually, completely ignoring the fact that Ben had just stolen something from me. I tried to speak up, but Mom cut me off with that familiar sharp tone. "Don't start drama today," she said. "Your brother is going through enough already." As if I wasn't. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept picturing Grandma's neat handwriting and wondering what she had wanted to tell me. By morning, I decided I wasn't going to let this go. If Ben thought he could just take whatever he wanted, he was wrong. And if my parents kept protecting him, then I'd have to find the truth on my own. The next day, I drove back to Grandma's house while everyone was at work. The place felt eerily quiet, dust still hanging in the air from the day of the funeral. I went straight to her bedroom, searching through the drawers, hoping she had left another copy of whatever was in that envelope. And then I found it. A small leather notebook, hidden under a stack of old sweaters. The notebook was worn, its pages yellowed with time. As I flipped it open, I saw dates going back more than 20 years. Grandma had been writing almost every day. Most entries were about family events, recipes, and small memories, until I reached the last few pages. There, her handwriting became shaky, and the words were underlined. "If you're reading this, something has been taken from you." My hands trembled as I read the next lines. Grandma wrote about a savings account she had opened in my name when I was born. Money meant to help me start my adult life. But last month, before she died, someone had withdrawn every dollar. She didn't write a name, but deep down I already knew who it was. Knew. I slammed the notebook shut and felt a rush of anger I hadn't felt in years. It wasn't just about the money. It was about every time they'd made me feel like I didn't matter. Ben had crossed the line, and this time I wasn't going to let it slide. I grabbed my phone and called him. "We need to talk. Now." Ben showed up an hour later, acting like nothing was wrong. He leaned against the doorway, grinning. "What's so urgent?" I didn't waste time. I tossed the notebook onto the table. His smirk faltered for just a second, and that was all the confirmation I needed. "I know about the account," I said, my voice low but steady. Ben's eyes narrowed. "You have no proof." I opened the notebook to the page with Grandma's final words and slid it toward him. He didn't even look down. Instead, he shrugged. "She wanted me to have it. You wouldn't have used it wisely." His words hit me like a punch. All those years of being dismissed, belittled, and ignored boiled over inside me. "This wasn't yours to take," I said, my voice shaking now. For the first time, Ben didn't have a comeback. He just looked away. "I'm telling Mom and Dad," I said firmly. Ben laughed, a short, bitter sound. Go ahead. You really think they'll believe you over me? His confidence made my stomach turn, but it also lit a fire inside me. This time, I wasn't going to let their favoritism win. I walked straight into the living room where Mom and Dad were watching TV. Ben followed, leaning casually against the wall like this was just another game. I took a deep breath and held up the notebook. "There's something you need to see," I said, locking eyes with both of them. Mom frowned as I placed the notebook on the coffee table. Dad barely glanced at it before turning to Ben. "What's this about?" Dad asked, his tone already defensive. I felt my chest tighten. They weren't even giving me a chance. Ben didn't waste a second. "He's accusing me of stealing," he said, his voice dripping with fake hurt. "I'd never do something like that to Grandma." Mom's eyes softened toward him, and I felt invisible all over again. "I found this in Grandma's room," I said, opening the notebook to the marked page. "She wrote that someone took the money from my account right before she died." Dad's jaw tightened, but he still didn't look at the page. Instead, he asked, "Do you have any actual proof it was Ben?" "That's the problem," I said, my voice rising. "She didn't write your name, but who else had the access?" Ben rolled his eyes. "Maybe she just forgot to tell you she gave it to me." Mom nodded slightly, as if that made perfect sense. I looked between them, my heart pounding. It was mine. She wanted me to have a future, and you just took it. Ben shrugged again, that smug smile creeping back. Dad finally spoke. "Enough. This conversation is over." I stood there, stunned, as Ben smirked in victory. Mom reached for the remote, turning the TV back on like nothing had happened. But just before leaving the room, Ben leaned in and whispered, "You always were, and always will be, a loser." My blood ran cold. That part you'll hear in the next video.